Hello, everyone, and welcome to After the Movie Podcast. This is a podcast where the five of us, good old-time friends, pick one movie a week to review and talk about, and generally get derailed and talk about whatever we feel like. This week's movie was Downsizing. It was a choice by me, Mo, and that's not my cousin, me, Mo, by the way, Martin.
That's right, baby.
That was me, comma, Mo. And I picked this movie because I thought it was going to be bad. And I thought that it would be a good one for us to, I just wanted to put everybody through the ringer a little bit. So it also fit in the theme of picking a movie that we had an actor in previously, Matt Damon being that actor. So in honor of that, I'm going to jump to Beggs first. Beggs, you want to give us a rating and tell us watch or don't watch?
Thank you, Nemo. Absolutely horrible movie. 1-star rating. Never watch this movie.
Martin, what do you think of this movie?
I don't do this often. Bags.
Oh, for those of you listening, Martin is throwing up a finger.
That's
and Martin
right.
hates
Quite
a
a precedent
big
has
finger.
been broken.
Oh, a gigantic finger. Only second to mooning is it my least favorite bodily movement. I don't know what.
No, that's not right, Martin. But
Gesture. There it is. No, this movie was a 4, and you should watch it.
a 4?
Four?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yikes.
Wow. Okay,
Mhm.
well, I'm kind of getting a read of the room, so I'm going to jump to what I believe to be an alternate rating and go with Quinn and then Dane and then me.
Movie. Does it have to get 1 star?
No, you
we
don't
talked
have
I
about
get this
before.
0 stars.
Okay, can we
And
go
do
back to the
not-
zero?
And do not watch this.
All right. What is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and what's 0? 5 is you love this movie. It has all this time in your life that it plays a role, right?
Right.
It
Yeah,
affects
we've
every
established
part
that
of you pretty
firmly.
much.
I think we all agree on that.
4,
No.
great movie that we just love.
Yeah.
3, average.
Mm-hmm.
No.
2, didn't really care for it. 1, hate it, never watch it. What is 0? What's below that?
I don't know. Is it burned all copies of the film?
Just go full on
Yeah.
Heinrich Himmler on it. Like,
Yeah. That's what I was gonna go with too, Dane. Host a public burning of the of the material.
All right.
Maybe
I think-
crucify Matt Damon.
Okay, so
God.
how about we can have 1 0 every 5 episodes?
That seems complicated and unworkable, but I like it.
I can get the big board of zeros up, and we'll keep track.
yeah,
There we go.
Each of us
There we
gets
go.
it 1-0.
Let's tally up them zeros. I don't know how that works, but
You can tally a 0.
Anyway, this is a horrible movie, and don't watch it.
All right, so Dane, what do you think of it?
So, I literally just finished watching it about like maybe 15 minutes ago. So like it's kind of still fresh in my mind. I would say that, I mean, I could go into a little bit more detail, but I would say 3 stars and a watch.
3 stars and a watch. Okay, just
So the
I am
tables have
going
been
to say I am going to give it a 1 star. Don't watch. But let's go ahead and jump to Martin.
Martin, I'm not the
Let's
only
hear-
contrarian this time. Let's hear this, buddy.
Let's
Come
hear
on.
how great this
I'm with you
horrible
on this.
movie is.
Let's go.
Oh God! All right, I'll try. You guys aren't gonna believe me, but it's fine.
Well, because it's bullshit.
It's not bullshit. All right,
You guys aren't gonna believe me.
you're not gonna buy any of it. It doesn't
I'm with
matter
you,
what I
Martin.
say. You're gonna say I'm
All right.
wrong.
I'm open to buy.
right.
This is a safe place, Martin. You can go ahead
Yeah.
and open up. We might make fun of you a lot, but it's part of the process.
All right. Well, I thought that the beginning was zany and fun. All right. I don't think anyone can argue that. All right, so we'll start there.
Do we,
All right,
do we have a problem?
anybody
Do we have a
disagree
problem with that?
That's okay. That's
All right.
fine.
All right, so we
Yeah,
all
that's
agree.
fine.
Zany, fun,
Right.
miniature people, flipping
Good
them over with
premise.
spatulas. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
A
No,
lot
it
of penises.
a lot of. I think it was the first side dick that I've ever seen in a movie where the men were laying on the tables. You just saw side dicks the whole time.
Just like all in a row. Yeah.
Definitely
Rows of
not as
side
good
dicks.
as the side boob, but
Well, but it's a first for me, which was exciting.
it's true.
It's not.
Side
I
boob. That's a
personally
dime a
found it
dozen,
exhilarating.
but a side dick.
Very rare and used quite well. All right, so already we're up to this being a 2-star movie.
You've got whimsy and side dick.
Yeah.
It's a great 4-word description of this movie. Whimsy and side dick.
That's perfect. I realized that Matt Damon is the new Matthew Broderick. I think. Yep.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Yeah. Yeah.
By not see. Oh, that's disgusting. Ugh.
Uh-oh, Dane's
it's
ratings
really
going
too
down
bad
right
for
now.
him, Yeah. All of his
Um,
hopes and dreams for Matt Damon just went right down the toilet.
Next line that I loved. How much for the hot dog cooker? Hilarious.
I don't remember that one.
When they're
$4?
hawking all their stuff.
It was
Oh,
before-
yeah.
I'll give you $1.
It
Sold.
was
Okay.
before your first nap in the movie.
I stayed awake through this one.
I had to try
Somehow
so
I did
hard
too. I
to.
don't know how.
I had to try so hard to stay awake.
It was
through
terrible.
All right, and the actual crux of the movie is the environment, right? And everyone's opinion of it. And I thought it did accurately kind of say how people fall into different groups on believing in climate change and how they act in their lives.
Fair.
I'm with you.
I
on
just
that
would
one.
say that I felt like it was a movie that didn't, as far as it goes on that, like I thought it was a movie without much direction. Like I didn't, like I
Kind
kind
of
of
like the
saw it.
climate change movement.
Oh.
Ew, pulling out those political guns.
That's right.
Oh, no.
We waited 10 episodes. Here it is.
Look out, everyone. Martin's gunning for the climate control. Or climate change.
Oh man.
Or lack of movement. Oh,
Ooh. Take that, Gore.
Man, bear, pig ass.
Frankly, those clowns in Congress can't get their act together.
And for those reasons and more, this movie is a 4.
I like it, man.
So
I like
what? Who else? What do we got? I'll defend it.
right.
So,
go for it, Pegs.
All right. So this movie is all right. I didn't like. I'm gonna try to be fair about it. So maybe I don't like Alexander Payne as a director. I think I've seen a couple of his movies, but the one that sticks out to me is Sideways, because it
Sideways.
was very well received. And maybe I just don't understand where he's trying to go with movies, but I did not enjoy Sideways. This movie was, I think, his largest budgeted movie, and it was an absolute fail. The acting was forced, unemotional, zero character development. It just jumped pretty much after the 20 or 30 minutes of the start, where I was like, okay, I think I can sort of understand this. It just jumps straight into the procedure. Again, I think we watched like 2 hours. This movie's a little over 2 hours maybe. And I
Yeah.
have no idea who Matt Damon's character was even. I still don't even know what kind of guy he actually is. The only point, back to the side dick, the only point.
If I could move this, if I could shift
Yeah.
this back to the side thing.
The
Give
only
the people
point.
what they want, Pegs. Side
This is
dick.
Side dick sells. That's the new.
Not in this case, because this movie was a big flop.
The only reason they showed dick was to get an R rating, so that way people didn't think this was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids for adults.
Yeah, that's just it. Is
Um,
that Fern Gully? I could watch Fern Gully or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and get the same result of what I got out of this and be a lot more entertained.
You see, I thought they were going to kind of do like a crazy, weird sci-fi thing with this. I mean, I know that it is a sci-fi, but I thought they were going to do like
Yeah.
a Soylent Green type of dystopia and I figured that it was a flop that way, that they just didn't execute it well. But
Right, 'cause-
I couldn't agree with
Well-
Eggs more. I didn't care about the characters at all. I mean, not at all.
Well, I agree with a lot of what everyone's saying on this. Begs,
Stop trying
yeah,
to
I
bring
mean,
us together, Dan.
He's the three. He's the three.
Alex, I agree that there was a lot of that they really missed the mark. There was not a lot of good execution with a lot of what they showed in the movie. But Martin, I agree with you too. Like there were some good ideas that they really had, they could have worked with. That just didn't live up to the potential that they had. This was the epitome of, if I were to sum this movie up to me, it would be big ideas, small execution.
Whoa, hey-o!
Like
very good. I
We're
like it.
funny,
full of
funny
it today.
man.
Yeah.
it had a lot to say about the environment, globalism. I really don't know what a lot of you guys are talking about, like not knowing what the characters are all about. Matt Damon's character was all about redemption, because his entire thing in the movie was like he wanted to set himself up for a good life. He gets fucked over the entire way, and he has to make a choice to try and do something better for everybody once he becomes downsized, and he eventually does that by not going down to be sequestered away from the rest of the small people at the very end of the movie. And
But I thought that Christoph Waltz, when he was talking about it, who by the way, I thought did a stellar job. I thought
when does he not though? When does he?
Yeah,
Not?
Right.
it's impossible. Man.
But his Serbian
The man could
accent
play a
was great.
potato and win an Oscar.
He could have played a potato in Sausage Party, and I would have believed him.
But to your point, I did think that when Christoph Waltz was saying that, nobody's really doing it for the environment, they say that they are. I thought that really did kind of hint to Matt Damon's motives, that he wanted to feel good about himself, that he was doing it for the environment, but he wasn't. He was doing it for himself so that he could live a large life.
Right. So
he was doing it all up until he decided not to go down like the 12-hour-long hike it would take for them to get to their vault, their utopia.
Right. Once it became hard, he just totally backed out. And I think that's what the climate change movement is. People always want to talk this big game about trying to do something, and then it's actually kind of hard. I just want to be happy. And then Dusan, is that Christoph Waltz's character?
Yeah.
He says, well, you know what? In 100 years, we're still going to be here, and they're going to be miserable down that hole. Because it's so hard to say, when is that time that you can't turn back? Because it's not just this moment. It's not today. Because we could do it tomorrow, right? Finding the tipping,
not turn back?
Not about not turning back with climate change, yes. So
yeah, we could hit the point where we don't.
Right, the tipping. They call it the tipping point, but could it really just be a matter of seconds? Is it days? Is it weeks? Is it years? They chose one day to go down into the sequestering, right? It was on that sunset. Why did they choose that day? They never talked about any of that stuff. They just all of a sudden did it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was interesting.
I thought it was
the whole movie was just kind of like they just kind of did it. I don't know.
I think that's the problem that I had with it too, is that it's just kind of everywhere. It starts with like this thing, and they're talking about like, oh well, you're taking away our rights, and you should be only like half of a person, and you shouldn't get representation. You're like, oh okay, I see. Like there's gonna be some evil guy that's gonna get introduced, and then he's gonna try and destroy the tiny town. And and all the tunes in Toonville, yeah.
Well, that's kind of
And then,
go ahead, Gwen.
And then you meet these cast of characters, and none of them really do anything. And they just kind of meander, and I feel like they wanted to have they could have gone in any number of directions, and they chose to kind of do everything, and then it ended up just being like a hodgepodge of
nothing.
Yeah, just being nothing.
I think that's why it's so accurate about what's going on. Because there is no one villain. It's everyone's choices that matter. Yeah. Well, I think it was perfectly portrayed in this movie, and that's why I loved it.
And I haven't even brought up the Asian lady.
Oh, she was hilarious.
Oh, that was so bad.
That
They
was
missed the mark. I am such a fan of the stereotypical Asian accent.
It's not stereotypical at all. She has like
The
some
pitch-
random Southern twang in it. Like, is
The-
this woman from Louisiana? I have no idea what.
that
I
that
usually
pigeon,
am-
that pigeon accent. Oh man, that's
Yeah.
funny.
It's usually hysterical,
I-
but they didn't do anything with it. They didn't make her funny. I didn't think. I don't know.
I thought her bossing around Matt Damon was funny.
Their attempt to
That was funny,
humor
yeah.
too with that, what kind of fuck? That was so dumb.
Oh, that was a terrible line.
Terrible.
And it went on and on and on.
But
What kind of
it was funny. What
American have a kind of fuck.
where
I
did you
shouldn't do
hear
the
that?
voice, but-
Third host. Third host I cleaned for. That's really funny. He's taking us true. That's funny.
Martin.
I'm
you
sorry.
can't
I'm not
give this
winning.
movie-
I'm not winning
No.
anybody over. Not happy. That's what I said. I was afraid of it.
Well,
I was already on your side, Martin. Don't let these fucks bring you down.
All right.
You only gave
Take
it
it
an
from me,
average
the guy
rating.
that's always on the downslope with everybody else in the group.
What about? But you only gave it an average rating, so I mean, it's not like you're hardcore.
I
in Martin's
mean,
camp.
I was
Some
not
bounds above
hardcore.
you.
I'm not
Yeah.
hardcore in anyone's camp. I just think that this movie, it surprised me because after looking at the trailer, I thought exactly that this movie was going to be like
Dog shit.
bad. Like I knew it was going to be dog shit, and it pleasantly surprised me with how much I enjoyed from it and what they were trying to say. But I was about whelmed, not overwhelmed, not underwhelmed. I was whelmed by how much it just couldn't reach up it couldn't reach up and grasp what it wanted to say.
And then what was the deal with the poor camp, right? I mean, like you have to have 150 grand just to get the procedure done, and the procedure includes this whole package. Why is there that whole poor complex
it's
of
like
tiny people?
it's like they refused to cut down any of the script, and
Yeah.
then they just had to put it all in. It doesn't actually make any sense at all. Why are we doing this? I don't know. I wrote it, so you paid me a lot of money to do it, right?
I mean, it's supposed to be like some kind of social commentary on, classism or something, but then there's
Right.
poor people who had this procedure done.
And they're
Yeah.
rich too, but
Yeah, how the hell did they pay $15,000 to get to this place where a
It was
dollar? is worth
150,000, wasn't it? Just for the
Uh,
procedure.
it?
I
Yeah,
can't remember.
I think it was.
and then
I
they
think
get
that was
there
their
and there's still
savings.
projects that doesn't make any fucking sense at
No,
all.
it doesn't, and it's all
Well, some of
set
them
up.
were actually forced to be downsized. So I think that was mostly the people that had it done to them.
Right? Okay. Yeah.
Why
the
were they forced to
refugees
be?
and-
Like that lady was a protester. Knock Land.
Knockland, yeah.
Knockland
The-
was a protester.
Matt Damon's girlfriend
Right.
by the end. She
Yeah,
was forced. Vietnam forced her against her will to get downsized, and then she became a cleaning lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were forced because the countries were, pretty much the higher powers were trying to stay large themselves, but they were like, well, all these peons, we can make them small to, some sort of
All these dissidents we could
Mhm.
Yeah,
get
sure.
silenced
carbon
by turning them
footprint
small.
reduction. Yeah.
That's
That's
just
saying some
cloudy.
stuff right there too.
No, it's
Yeah,
just
they
cloudy
are
and
saying
gray.
that stuff, but then they never developed that at all.
No.
Like
Yeah, they
I
just
might,
move
it might be a
along.
better movie had it been like Tiny Town gets Tiny Town in prison or Tiny Town the Nightmare or something.
I love
If
that
they
you're
just
stuck
built
on
it-
Tiny Town, Quinn. This is
I-
great. It's a great. You should make Tiny Town. Make the
I
movie
think I am
Tiny
gonna
Town
make
the
Tiny
name-
Town.
Wasn't Tiny Town the name of the place where the Tiny Toons lived?
There can be two Tiny Towns.
No, that's
Tiny Town 2.
Trying to think of the theme song too, Dane. They're
Toontown.
tiny, they're
Yeah,
teeny, they're all little.
a little loony. Tiny Toon event. That I know most of it takes place at Acme Luniversity, but I don't remember the actual Acme World, Acme Land, or something like that.
Hmm.
I don't think
I
it
don't
was
know.
Tiny Town.
Speaking of 90s cartoons, I got some Dunkaroos today.
Oh, pull them out. Pull
Nice.
those out.
Let me
All right,
let me see
I'll be
those
right
shits,
back,
man.
guys. I'll be
Yeah,
right
yeah.
back.
Please go get the fuck in.
You continue
Okay.
to talk.
Hey, all right. Can we
some
just bring
Dunkaroos
up-
in
me
our
in when I get
lives.
back.
Can we just bring up the fact that Kristen Wiig was such an irredeemable cunt in this movie? Like, I absolutely felt it in my soul how much I hated her when she called him up and was just like, I couldn't do it.
That shit was so unrealistic, though. That doesn't
Oh,
make
that
any
just-
sense at all. She would not have done that.
My blood was boiling when I saw that. I felt so much.
But see, this is where I think I was misled by the movie, is because I thought that they focus in on like the contract scene where it's like you can die and stuff. And I think it's like meant to like make you think like, oh, I'd never do this because it's like super dangerous and it's irreversible. And then the next scene, they've got like Kristen Wiig, and you think, oh, she died. Like, this is the turning point. This is where we're gonna see like the evil part of this whole thing. Like, it's not good. And then it just turns out that she left him. And like, okay,
And
what
then
a
that was it.
sensible, undramatic way to turn this movie.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was
Uh-oh.
extremely unrealistic. Oh, yeah. Break this
Yeah,
movie.
buddy.
Uh-oh.
It's just
Oh.
turning
Yeah,
into
buddy.
John Wayne. It's fading in and out, John Wayne.
Just open
I
those
have-
up and slowly
today is-
start eating them.
I'm not doing some weird pornographic thing for you, Biggs.
It's food porn. It's not.
Put on
So
some
I-
Sublime.
It's totally legitimate.
I
Slow
have John
down,
Wayne
baby.
on as my background because today
Oh, there
is
we go.
his birthday.
And Stinky Knees Peterson. Don't forget
Yeah,
about
Yes,
him.
and of
Slim
course he's
Pickens.
featured with his best buddy, Stinky Knees Peterson. But here are some of my 90s Dunkaroos that I had to special order from 7-Eleven.
Great.
Nice.
Special order.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy Raj from 7-Eleven called me today.
Shout out to Raj.
Yeah, Raj, local 7-Eleven. He was telling me about how 7-Eleven's the biggest franchise in the world.
Sorry if you can hear that weed whacker. It's there's a guy weed whacking right next to the window.
Yeah. And he's
Stick
not
your head
weed
out the
whacking
window.
Burt Reynolds'
Hell.
chest hair behind Quick.
Yeah. I'd like to take a weed whacker to that man.
This is getting weird. Mo, dunk a Dunkaroo.
And
We
I
all
can't-
want it.
I had a Dunkaroo. I can't do it. I had a package of Dunkaroos.
What is a package? That's just what, like, one
That's
Dunker.
a package
Now, what is
of,
this
a
package?
package of Dunkaroos.
Sorry for turning into a classic 90s cartoon villain there for a second.
You're stuck on Tiny Town.
I'm stuck. I've got so many ideas just flying around about Tiny Town in my head.
Them and their precious Dunkaroos.
Soon we shall spoil all the children's lunches.
Mo,
Wasn't Tiny Town a children's show that like from Scandinavia something or other?
I don't know.
I'm not too
I didn't grow
well-versed
up.
in
Yeah,
Scandinavian.
I didn't grow up with an
It was
interest in
that
Scandinavian
book
children's
series,
program.
right? With
The
all the
one with-
animals.
The one with all the animal puppets and Robbie Rotten was the main bad guy in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they told the old legend about how Sistine Chapel got its ceilings painted instead of its walls because the priest kept touching the walls. So Michelangelo got fed up and painted the ceiling.
I
God
think
is
we
like a
might have
bear.
diverged a little bit there.
No, it was in the show.
You guys crossed like two ships in the
part.
dark on that one. You just went right past each
Mo,
other.
Mo, can we come back full circle to downsizing here?
Oh, I don't think so.
We're past downsizing.
Gotta rein us back in.
What's
I
up,
love it.
Beggs?
All right, so it kind of has to do with what Martin's saying, and with Martin actually. I think Matt Damon has come a very long way from Will Hunting to downsizing, and he is the new Matthew Broderick.
Right. He came a long way in a downward trajectory is where you're going.
Very,
right?
yes. I think he's done. But I was gonna say, just because Mo picked this movie, that he has now surpassed Dane for worst movie taste, but he did not like this movie. So I think Martin has taken the crown for worst movie taste.
I think Beggs is trying to shunt the blame.
He's so
Because-
upset. Yeah, that he
Yeah,
called the
because-
Dane from the last.
No, Mo, I can accept that I like some bad movies, but I will tell you that they are bad movies.
So, Martin, is this a bad movie that you liked?
I thought this was a good movie.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, I guess it's official. Because I like some bad movies too, but I will tell you they're bad.
Yeah.
I've been on a serious '90s kick, watching some really bad '90s movies that I
Oh, that
love.
sounds terrible.
Mm-hmm.
They're
So,
awful
Dane,
and great.
When,
I apologize to you, Dane.
It's okay. It's okay, Paul. When I was watching it, the first like 40 minutes or so, like I got a whole bunch of 90s vibes from this movie. Like right up until he went through the downsizing procedure, like when he and his wife were going through the sales seminar, which had Laura Dern and Neil Patrick Harris. Shout outs to them. They freaking killed that part. I thought that was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they
Yeah.
played that swarmy kind of timeshare salesman part so great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They did a great job. I agree, Dave.
I got so much 90s vibes from the movie up until then. I was just like, oh, so this is how the movie's going to be. And then it took a turn somewhere.
Yeah. It kind of started to feel like Cloud Atlas at the end. Just kind of, why the hell is
A
this
little bit.
happening?
A little bit, but it definitely didn't reach to the heights that Cloud Atlas did. That
No.
movie's fucking awesome.
Never seen it.
Ugh,
I'd
I
have
might-
to watch
I'm gonna
that
put-
again.
I'm gonna put that on my list of movies. Hold on.
Coming
I've got a
soon.
whole-
list.
I've got a whole list of movies that I could choose, boys, and let me tell you, y'all are gonna love these.
Oh, Noodle the Woodle just came in, and her face is all dirty.
Noodle the Woodle is Mo's
Dog. Yeah.
That's his fiance.
she's been mucking about in mud puddles
Come
again.
here,
Come
sweetie
here.
pie.
You my dirty little woodle.
And she's all rambunctious right now, guys. Sorry, I'm distracted.
No, it's my pick, right?
What?
I think you're up next. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Quinn. No one's taking.
Because I
your-
got it. I got a couple of zingers that I want to say later. And
Quinn, why
They're
did
all
you
based
freak
on my
out so
pick.
much?
huh?
What, me? Freak out? No.
I'm talking about
Was he
something else. No,
serious?
it's my pick next, right? But guys, it's my pick next.
But Dane doesn't get to pick now because it's my turn.
Even though Dane's got a list, I don't got a list because I can't write that well. I'm scared I'm gonna not be able to read my own handwriting after work.
Quinn, I've been pulling a Quinn, just fidgeting with my wire the entire time.
Oh, doesn't it
Gross.
just make you feel comfortable?
Are you
and,
fidgeting
like,
down there?
yeah.
What are you
Oh,
fidgeting
I'm
with?
fidgeting. I'm
Let's see it.
fidgeting with the other side of the earpiece from my
Oh, yeah.
headphones. It's squishy.
Not your music box.
No, not my music box. I do have I have that on the desk in case I get bored.
Go
and I
ahead
wanna
and give it a
play.
wind, Quinn.
Oh yeah.
Just-
Here we go. You guys want to hear this?
Yeah, fired up. Oh, you got the noise
Well-
suppressed in the back.
Yeah,
But you can hear with Harry Potter.
yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty magical, isn't it?
I
think
think
we're
you have
all
to
feeling
talk
with
the whole
every
time
time-
you're doing it.
Yeah, every time you stop talking, it cuts out.
Make like a
Oh.
woo sound while you're doing it. There it is.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us with music boxes.
Quinn,
Just-
I sincerely hope that is a nice transition into what movie you chose.
Yeah, Quinn, why don't you lay your pick on us?
Are we done talking
I
about downsizing? I got one more thing.
No, Martin, you can go ahead.
Now,
All
now
right.
who's
Go for it,
freaking out, Martin?
I'm freaking. All right.
Let's hear it.
If you're gonna have a movie about climate change, who's gonna be the evildoer in it? Because I think if it had like this big capitalist system that's like just like the Fern Gully portion of the climate argument,
Right.
because then that gets tiresome. So who's going to be the enemy?
George Bush.
Oh, he hates black people.
Because that's exactly what Al Gore did in An Inconvenient Truth.
Blamed it on George Bush.
I mean, that's basically
It's
what
true,
he did. Yeah,
It's a pretty good tactic.
All right.
blame the Republicans.
Yeah, they just need to get like Billy Bob Thornton to come in and pretend to be a Republican senator and slam his.
You would have hated that movie. I don't think this movie
I
could have
hated
been
this
done
movie.
in any. I know that's my point. This movie couldn't have been done in any way that you would have liked.
Well, it would have fit in well if that villain was a bland character like the CEO of an oil refinery.
But then that's just. It's not.
It would have made the movie
Those are
come full
good.
circle.
I agree with you. I agree with you,
Yeah,
Martin. I would have hated it.
No matter what, it's just because of the topic of the movie. I think it's a hard sell for a lot of people.
Fucking
I think so
plastics
too, but I
and
think that there
rubbers.
has to be some way to do it.
I liked The Day After Tomorrow more than this one.
What was that? Tom Cruise?
No, it was Dennis Quaid,
Jake-
but it was about climate change.
I thought Jake Gyllenhaal was in that one.
Yeah, Jakey
Yeah,
Jillers.
he's in there too.
Jibbity
An
Jake.
ensemble cast, Dane.
Jiggity Jake.
Jakey
Quinn,
Jillers.
Quinn, what's the movie?
Speaking of that,
Well, I got. I just got a question for Martin.
Yeah.
How long do you not want to sleep, Martin? For a week or 2 weeks?
Oh, I
Do I
think
not
I know where
wanna
this is
sleep?
heading.
Where is this
Do I have any downsides from not sleeping, or is this like if I could just not sleep forever
There's-
and be
there's
great?
always
You're gonna be
downsides to it.
terrified.
Oh,
Downsides.
Downsides
Nice.
to it,
This is the
Martin.
monkey's
I-
paw
I-
thing. Okay, no, I'm good.
That's
I would like to sleep right now.
Well, we haven't done a single horror movie on this podcast.
Well, that's true.
And for
And
those
I-
of you listening, Quinn and I are huge fans of horror.
I love.
Payne, but Martin is not a fan.
Nope.
He doesn't
get-
like
I get
the
scared.
movies.
I get
the
scared every
spookies.
time.
You
I'm
better.
scared too. I don't want to tell anybody, but I just did.
Oops.
Payne, what are your feelings on horror as a genre?
I love it as long as it's well done. So Quinn, you better pick a fucking good one, all right?
Well,
Or else.
One of these days, Quinn.
Straight to the middle.
well, I do love Christine, which is a horrible horror film, but I'm not going to pick that one, even though it's about a haunted car, and I'd highly recommend that everybody watch it.
I mean, Stephen King. What's not to like about that one?
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks.
I'm just picturing just giant man Dane just socking you right in the schnauzer.
Right in the schnoz.
I like the idea of Dane and Quinn being a 50s married couple a lot.
I don't even mind knowing that I would be the woman in that relationship.
Could be the Jackie Gleason to your. I don't even know what the female.
I don't know.
I don't know what it would be like either.
Pow, right in the kiss.
It's a nameless female victim.
That's the 50s in a sentence right there.
All right, that's the movie. Let's
We were just married last year. Here's my nameless female victim.
And with that, after the movie podcast just got canceled by Twitter. Hashtag me too.
Sorry, Jack Dorsey.
All right, Quinn. So what is it?
It's,
Okay.
Sorry, it's pound me too. By the way, pound.
Oh God.
Me too.
Ugh.
What? That isn't that how you say it?
Thanks.
Hashtag.
Thanks.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. That's really gonna get us canceled on Twitter right there.
Well, it was a fun podcast while it
Hashtag canceled.
lasted.
It was a good time.
We hope
I
you
can
all
hear the
enjoyed it.
SJWs coming at us already.
We ended on a high note, boys. Downsizing is great.
Then we can all hold our chins high knowing that we did something good in the world.
Oh God.
All right, Quinn. What's the
All
movie?
right. So my movie pick is The Ring. A little movie from 2005, which is excellent.
Well, hang on with your reviews, buddy. Slow down.
Yeah, what is that?
Hold up. Are we
watching?
watching the American remake or are we watching the Japanese original?
The American remake. With
Only
Naomi
Dane would
Watts,
ask that
of course,
question.
yeah.
Because they both came out in 2005, if I was not mistaken.
Dane, you're a boob.
As how many of us have seen this movie?
Ugh,
I have.
I have.
It's been a while. I think I don't
Yeah.
I don't
So-
fucking remember.
So-
It's gonna
So it's
scare me all
it's
over.
a refresher for all of us. Then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't
gonna be good.
didn't they just come out with a new remake, like a new
Yeah,
reboot of
yeah, I
The Ring?
watched it. It
Or
had
was it?
Jimmy. It had the Galecki guy from Big Bang Theory.
I was really kind of hoping you were going to say Insidious because that scared the jeepers out of me.
I was
Oh,
scared it
that's-
was going to be Insidious.
That's we were all watching. Well, not all of us. Beggs, Quinn, and I were watching Insidious, and I was falling asleep as per usual. One of the scenes.
I don't know how.
Well, one of the scenes. I don't want to talk about it on here because we might do that sometime. But one of the scenes made me audibly gasp and woke me up, and then I was just spooked the whole time. It was so great. We were just sitting there pounding cigarettes.
Fantastic. It was fantastic.
Is that guy still weed eating out there?
Yeah, he's still weed eating. I don't know how much. There's like maybe
Whippersnapper.
6 feet or possibly 15 feet between us and the house next door, and he seems to be focusing at least an hour on that little portion. I don't know what he's doing.
Well,
Maybe
when
his
you're-
lawnmower's broke and he's doing it Homer Simpson style. Just
Yeah,
lean
maybe.
back in
That's
the
how
hole.
I do it here, Mo.
Is it?
Great. Oh yeah, I love it. Just got to piss everybody off in the neighborhood. But Martin said that I was nice to them because I waited till 10 o'clock in the morning before I
That
fired
is
it up.
sweet.
I think
That
I
is.
think you can get away with it at 8:30. That's the earliest you should absolutely be doing it. I don't
Yeah.
know. What do you guys think?
Well,
I
I
think
think
8:30 is
8:30
the
is-
earliest. But
yeah, I
the
think
10
that
is
that's
great.
right on the edge. I think
I thought it
8:30
was
is
pretty-
acceptable, but
That'd be okay. It was. I mean, it was Memorial Day weekend. It's pretty American Dad to just fire up a weed eater super early.
As long as you had Budweiser in one hand and the weed whacker in the other one, I think you're fine, no matter what the time was.
Why aren't you using electric bags? You're part of the problem. Now we're all gonna have to downsize.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Yard machines cannot be
I
electric.
hope Toro
I
made
actually-
tiny little weed whackers for us.
And on
Actually,
that
can you-
note,
yeah, Beggs, you want to handle our call to action?
if you like this show, please subscribe, follow, like, comment, and care on any and all social media outlets where we are available. You can find us at After the Movie Podcast on YouTube, and you can listen to us on any of your subscribed podcasts, like Spotify. Additionally, if you'd like to interact with us even more, you could find us at our Twitter handle at After the Movie PC, and we just launched a new Facebook page as well, so you can find us there.
For all of you out there, thanks for listening. Tell a friend if you like the podcast, and we love you all.
Join us next week where we watch The Ring, and you can tag along on Netflix and watch it with us so that you're prepared for next week's podcast.
Whistle for a cab when they keep the lights place of freshness had Tyson them here. If anything that I can say at this cab's rare, said nah man, forget it home to Bel Air. Pulled up to the house about 7 or 8 and yelled to the cabbie on. Stay later, looked at my kingdom, I was finally there. Sitting on my throne at the Prince of Bel Air.